Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Hi, I'm Brianna Seely, producer for Offscript Health. Welcome to Vax On. Before we get started today, I'd like to tell our listeners about another show in the Offscript Health podcast network, Beyond the Paper Gown. Beyond the Paper Gown is candid, credible, and curated. Listen in to learn how host Dr. Mitzi Crockover can inspire, empower, and inform women with the latest information about their health and healthcare choices. Check out the latest episode, an innovator spotlight on Rosie, the sexual health app, featuring Dr. Lindsay Harper, OBGYN, founder and CEO of Rosie, an award-winning women's health technology company. Or the Sexual Health Matters episode where Dr. Mitzi Crockover and Dr. Lindsay Harper talk about common complaints and treatment options for those with sexual health concerns. For more information, visit offscript.com/shows. The link will be in our show notes. Enjoy the show.
Hello, Allura.
Hi, Matt.
I don't know why I sounded like that.
That's okay.
It's like, today we are going to talk like this. Talk like this? Yes, talk like this.
Talk like this.
I would like to partake of your pecan pie.
Waiter.
Waiter.
There is a pepper on my puppy crush. Okay.
It's Vax On time.
It is Vax On time. And guess what?
I see a younger human. Hello, Cece.
Hi.
Cece Nanos.
No, not CC Nanos.
No? That's
No.
right, Cece Kish.
Yeah.
I keep, you know what? So I've known your mother for a trillion years, and I've known many friends from high school for a trillion years, and I never, ever call them by their married names. It'll always be Allura Nanos.
Just like you'll always be CC Kish, even if you get married and change your name. So CC decided to come for the ride with me today. And
Your brave soul.
Hello.
Matt, you have
She's very excited.
I know, I could tell she's extremely excited, but
Like if ennui
had
had ennui.
it's gonna be great. I told CC she doesn't have to know anything. It's just all about reaction.
You got it.
So,
Wait, I have a COVID story.
oh no.
So I think I mentioned this last week with Stephanie.
Yeah.
But thank you, Stephanie, for stepping in last
Thank
week.
you,
'Cause
Stephanie.
What, did you get lazy? What happened? But Booty Giuliani found his way back on your
No.
foot?
Last week I was with my daughter on the swim trip.
Ah, that's right.
Yes, Cece, what did we do on the swim trip?
We went dolphin and whale watching.
It was so fun.
Wow.
And then we ate seafood and then we had ice cream. And it was like a day of eating and seafaring.
All right. I mentioned last week on the show that we officially decided to stop staring into the void of one of our kitchen cabinets filled with a trillion home COVID tests that we've been aggregating. So my wife, Jess, took them to work and gave them to all the nurses at her job.
Oh, that's
And
so
then the day
thoughtful.
after they're gone, Kobe had a fever.
Oh, you got rid of all of them?
All of them.
Well, who would do that? Why wouldn't you keep a few?
I don't know.
Did he have COVID?
I think maybe Kobe packed them.
Did you get him tested or you didn't test him?
Well, he had a fever, so we took him. We're like, oh shit, all the tests are gone. He was negative, but
Okay.
like just the one day after we kind of donated all of them, he needed a test. So we
Cece,
have 4 in the house now.
4. That seems okay. Cece, how many COVID tests do we have in our house?
Too many.
We have like 200 of them.
Like
right?
Yeah.
like 3 figures of
Yes.
COVID tests.
It's not my fault though.
Yes, it is.
So
mean,
anyway, my son is fine, but just the irony of like we got rid of 1,000 tests in this drawer. We probably should have kept a few.
You
We
think?
did not.
I can't believe your wife didn't make you keep some of them.
I'm going to blame my son for packing it.
It's kind of funny, actually. But
Yeah.
he's better now.
Well, he was nothing was wrong with him. He just had a fever for like a day.
Okay. Kids do that.
Yes.
I love when they do that.
Fantastic. Thank you, kids.
So, today on our show, I'd like to talk about some terrible stuff.
For a change.
But we are getting off the chapter of COVID just for today because we have a new crisis afoot.
Is it space cancer?
Nope.
It's not space cancer.
It is not space cancer. Cece, do you know what it is?
No. Oh, wait.
Cece.
I thought you were asking about space cancer.
What is space
I thought that was a
cancer?
real thing.
Cece.
Monkeypox.
It's not the James Webb Telescope, is it? Either.
No, but I've learned all about that this week.
Those photos are amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Totally amazing. That's me pretending to care at all about space because I just don't care about space. But
Monkeypox. We were joking about this months ago, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, look, there's a thing going on. But it's not like Ebola.
It's not good.
But it's not Ebola.
But it's not good.
But it's curable, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not good.
Okay.
Cece, do you know anything about monkeypox?
No.
It's like chickenpox, but more zooish.
She doesn't know about chickenpox. Do you know anything about chickenpox?
No.
Do you know that it's something that we all used to get when we were kids?
I know that.
Yeah. Do you know anything about it? Like what it does to you?
No.
It would make you like itch.
You look like a pepperoni pizza for a few weeks.
It's gross.
I know that.
Yeah.
It's
gross.
nothing else.
It's totally gross. So, and monkeypox sounds almost possibly worse, but definitely disgusting.
It's very disgusting.
Like if you get it, you get like sores all over your body.
It's biblical.
It's biblical.
It's boils. Right.
It sounds terrible. And we talked about it a couple of months ago, and it was like there were only a handful of cases in the U.S. And I remember both saying and feeling like, oh, don't worry, it's not going to really turn into anything more. And there's 1,800 cases in the U.S. now.
I'm reading here that there were 9,200 cases of monkeypox across 63 countries.
That's not good.
I mean, out of 8 billion people, that's a fraction, but
yeah, but COVID started like that too.
Yeah, but I mean, that was made in the lab with bats and
Matt, I don't
Bill
like this.
Gates chips.
I fully do not like this. I mean, monkeypox, here's the thing. Monkeypox has been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
Right? But it's never been this strong. So it sounds like what happened is that the virus mutated and now it's like a super virus, which is the same thing that happened with coronavirus, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad. And like
Corona Classic.
Now here's so like that's what's happening. Like there's a lot of cases and it seems that they're most concentrated in Washington, D.C. is like that's the biggest hotspot. But it seems like New York City is not doing so well.
How is it spread?
It spread skin to skin contact.
It's not respiratory.
No. So it's like you would get it if somebody, and it's like not any skin. Like if the person has like a sore on their skin and you touch that part of them.
That sounds like an STD. Is it similar, skin to skin?
I think
open sores?
We're going to talk about that after this segment in the less PG segment of the show.
When your daughter leaves the room?
When my daughter leaves the room. But it's any skin to skin contact. It could be, you could touch somebody's arm and if their arm has an open sore, you could get it that way.
Right.
And I think that there is at least some evidence that if you have an open sore and then you touch an object, that another person could pick it up from touching that object.
Surface to surface through sores.
Yes, that's
open wounds.
So far, that's what we.
I mean, if you're walking around with an open wound, you got bigger problems.
I mean, I guess, but it's not necessary. I mean, if you have like a skin thing, if you have like a skin rash or something.
I guess so. That's true.
I mean, I guess. But I mean, you're talking about 1,800 people that got it that way that apparently were not deterred from touching one another, even though one person potentially had open sores. So I don't know. I just feel like that's really not a good thing.
Are there any trends in how it's spreading? Is it like only in certain communities?
Before we even get into the statistics and like what's happening and what should we do about it, my question is, do you think that we're going to go back to everybody being locked in their houses again because of monkeypox?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too.
Just the fact that it's not respiratory alone it's easy to avoid.
I would
just
think.
Don't touch people, which I do every day.
Right, that's true. Like
avoid humans.
We're gonna have
the way I live my life.
We're gonna have a standing rule now, right? And the rule is, if you're gonna touch anybody, make sure that you at least look at them to make sure that their skin is like totally clear. Does that seem like
or wear like a giant raincoat?
Yeah, or right. Just you can
and gloves,
and then you can hug them.
Like you're cleaning the kitchen with bleach, like just
right. Like wash up and like. I mean, that seems like it would be the right way to go. And the thing that's interesting though is that through history, since 1958, when it was first discovered, we've never had more than a couple hundred cases, and now we have 1,800 cases. It just in this country.
I'm going to read this verbatim because I'm confused by the sentence. Scientists are not entirely sure why the disease is spreading this way, but early findings suggest it may have made its way into highly interconnected sexual networks within the MSM community, where it can spread in ways it cannot in the general population.
Yep.
What is MSM?
Men sleeping with men.
Ah.
Yeah. I know this only because it's written there.
I was
going
to say, like, why do you know this?
I've never heard that. But that's probably because I just don't know abbreviations. I'm like,
and yet you knew this abbreviation.
Just because I read it, but the first thing I thought of was mainstream media, and then I was like, maybe it's multi-level marketing. Right. So I was like, it's all bad. No, I don't know. There seems to be some indication that it's spreading a lot within the gay male community, but that's not the only way that it's spread, and that's not the only people that have to worry about it. So we're going to talk more about that in the next segment. But, basically for our first story, I just want to say, like, this is a thing now. Now, is it going to become as big a thing as COVID? I sure hope not. Does it mean that it's time to be really, really alarmed? I don't think so. I don't think we should be out there trying to spread panic. But I will also say it doesn't sound like it's nothing.
I just feel like this whole planet's done with anything that can kill us.
I feel like, yes. I heard today that one of the reasons why viruses are getting so strong is because of climate change, which I didn't know.
And they hate us.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
You knew
climate change is responsible for like everything
for
bad
everything
happening.
Cease, did you know that? That viruses get extra bad right now because of climate change?
No.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. So should we do stuff about climate change?
Probably.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe Manchin. Go fuck yourself.
All right. So Cece, are you concerned about monkeypox?
I'm not like worried, but like I feel like something bad might happen if like we just like let this fly around.
Okay.
Are you more concerned about band practice?
Probably.
There you go. Priorities.
All right. And with that, I will show Cece her way out the door.
It is time for the inappropriate language to begin.
Thank you, Cece.
Thank you, Cece.
Thank you.
All right. On that bright note to start the show, Allura, thank you very much. We are moving into even more shenanigans in monkeypox.
More monkeypox. So this is all monkeypox all the time.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing, though, that's really interesting to me and confusing. So the D.C. mayor, Muriel Bowser, said that officials are working to administer a vaccine quickly.
Wait, there is a vaccine for monkeypox?
That was what I said first. I was like, wait, we have a vaccine already. Like, that's not what was the case with COVID. So,
well, monkeypox, you said, was been around for like 80 years.
Yes. So here's my question. And maybe you know the answer because I do not know the answer to this.
I already don't know the answer.
So monkeypox has been around, but like no one's ever had it. Like, I mean, people have had it, but very few people have had it, right? So it's not a treatment drug. It's a vaccine that stops people from getting monkeypox, right?
Like chickenpox? Do we even know?
Well, I thought about that, but no, it's not like we've all gotten vaccinated against monkeypox.
Right.
So this is a vaccine.
Because pox is a word we know in society. There's smallpox, there's chickenpox.
So my understanding is that the monkeypox vaccine is some kind of derivative of a smallpox vaccine.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yes, it sort of does. But here's the part that I don't understand. So a problem that we're having now is that while we do have a monkeypox vaccine, there isn't enough of it being manufactured for everyone to just like get it, right?
Right.
Because it's never been manufactured in large supply because monkeypox has never been a problem in high numbers.
Right. We're not quite in high numbers though yet, right?
No, but here's my question. What has the vaccine been doing? There's like a few thousand doses, right? So I'm trying to understand, there are vaccines out there for contagious viruses. What is being done with them?
They're in a lab.
They just like live in a lab in case someday we need them. Is that what happens?
There's like a Kmart storefront somewhere that represents like the NSA seed bank of viruses. They're just sitting in there waiting to be used. Like,
is that what happens?
I made that up.
Because
that is not fact.
I legitimately don't like, is it like once in a while some doctor is like, hey, Joe, you seem like you're particularly at risk for monkeypox. Call up the pharmacy and get a vaccine. Like, I don't understand what is happening with vaccines that no one is taking, because it would be different if it was a treatment for the illness, but it's not. It's a vaccine to stop you from getting it.
In the first place, or if you have it, it goes away.
No, a vaccine would mean that you don't get it, right? Isn't that the whole idea of a vaccine? You wouldn't call it a vaccine then.
Vaccines to me, again, looking at COVID, vaccines used to make sure you never got it ever again, but COVID outsmarts the vaccines.
Yeah, but it's like a preventative is what I mean.
Right.
Like vaccine is a preventative measure. It's not a treatment measure.
No, but if you get the chickenpox vaccine, you never get chickenpox.
Yeah, so I think it
smallpox is
right.
You never get smallpox.
But I think you never get smallpox because smallpox has been eradicated, not because the vaccine stops you from ever getting it.
No, but the smallpox vaccination thing and our parents have that dot on their arm when they got jabbed in
the
public
inoculation.
school. Yeah.
Right.
But then they just never got it. I think we're at a place now where I'm confused about how do we define what a vaccine is if it doesn't guarantee you never get it.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this about how it works, and I feel like I need to know.
And Fauci's retiring. Come on, we can't. That's it.
Fauci's retiring?
Yeah, 2025.
Oh, for God's sakes. And then who's going to be the new monkeypox
He's like
guy?
89 or 90.
I know, he needs a rest, the poor guy.
He needs a rest.
So here's the situation, right? So DC expects to get like 4,000 more doses next week. They've already gotten 8,000 doses. And here's what's going on. The vaccine doses are specifically being given to the LGBTQ community, okay? And the reason why is because a large percentage of monkeypox cases that have been reported are being reported by gay men. Okay, so there is some indication that that community is not that they're especially susceptible necessarily, but that they're the ones that are getting it right now. And maybe it's because of their behavior. Maybe it's because it's extra transmissible during sex. I don't know. But that is the community that seems to be representing the highest numbers of people who currently have monkeypox.
I'm reading here. I don't care whether you're gay or straight. If you have lesions on your penis, don't fuck anything.
Like, what are people doing? Like, I do not understand.
Like, just as a rule of thumb,
because that's what it's saying. It's saying that's the symptom.
If you're living your life and you have a penis and you're staring down at yourself and there's blood there,
yes, like
don't put that in anyone.
Right, or anything, honestly.
Right.
Stay home, go to bed. Right, go to a doctor and then go to bed. And you're exactly right. And for whatever reason, this the gay community, and it's the gay male community, seems to be suffering the worst effects right now of monkeypox. So
they should call this penis lesion pox, and then people will start to pay attention to it.
You're actually very right and very much on target for what we're talking about, which is the messaging here can be really a two-edged sword.
Right.
And, so there is a debate here within the kind of the medical community and the broader community about, does this make sense to prioritize the group that seems to be most contracting the virus?
Without seeming like you're targeting.
Well, but not so much. I mean, that's one issue, right? But I sort of feel like, look, if one community needs the help the most, then we should give it to them.
Right.
But the bigger issue is that going to actually cause a worse problem down the line? Because there's nothing about this that indicates that it has to do with being gay. In other words, it's just that it just happens that these are the people that are contracting it right now. But anyone could contract it from skin to skin contact. So you don't want other people who are not gay to feel like, oh, it doesn't matter what we do, we'll never get it. Because if you do that in a couple of weeks, everybody's going to have it.
This does have a lot of echo to HIV.
It certainly does.
Which I'm sure will make people uncomfortable to even bring that back up as a narrative.
That's true. But if you think about it in terms of HIV, right? So we know that during the HIV crisis, and HIV is still a crisis, but we know that in early days, it was a major misstep for the messaging to be about gay men only, because then there was all this blame and shame, and it was just, it resulted in all sorts of bad stuff for the gay community, which is not ever what we would want to do. At the same time, I'm sure if there had been a vaccine to prevent people from getting HIV, if it was given first to the gay community and then to everyone else, I don't know that would have necessarily been a problem. But I think that it's kind of, we'll talk more in the next segment even about messaging, that it's hard to know what the right messaging is here, because you don't want to ostracize anyone. You don't want to blame anyone. But at the same time, you want the accurate information to get out there. And you, of course, want people who are most at risk to get the help from whatever medication is helpful.
So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Still talking about monkeypox.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's funny, not funny. That
It
here's
is.
yet another thing that do we need to be afraid of it? It's very different, but we're off the heels of this PTSD of COVID, which is still lingering in the ether.
And I think that on one hand, you could say it's PTSD from COVID. On the other hand, you could say, like, maybe we've learned something. COVID also started with only a small group of people. It also was exacerbated by people thinking, oh, it's only in China. Oh, it's only in Italy.
The Democratic hoax.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about it. It's not real. And then if we had been, more careful in some ways in the beginning, maybe it would have helped more. Who knows?
Right.
So it's very difficult for me to believe, like, oh, we can just not worry about this. I mean, yes, 1,800 people is not a zillion people, but I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. And I'm not trying to be alarmist. I'm just trying to say, we should at least attempt to learn something.
I mean, this is also a message about responsible sexual behavior. Just like an STD to anyone on the planet. Don't fuck with a bloody penis.
I mean, there's that, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you, that brings us into really what New York City has said. The New York City Health Department put out a message that suggested that having sex while you have monkeypox could be made safer if you avoided kissing and you covered your sores. Which
I can't process that sentence.
No, it's like weird to me. But I guess they felt that if they just told people not to have sex at all, that sort of wouldn't work.
That never works.
Yeah. And the bigger point that one of our producers brought up to me earlier was, why are we even talking about sex? Doing that gives people the false impression that it's only an STI.
Right.
And that if you just touch people in a non-sexual way, that's perfectly safe. And
no.
And it's not perfectly safe. So it's not so much about sex as it is about touching. And my response to that is, well, sex is a subset of all touching,
yes.
Right? So not all touching is going to be the kind of touching that would lead to monkeypox, but it's all sort of risky behavior right now. Just like with COVID, all breathing close would be risky behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So if you message, it's only sex, it's only gay sex, it's only...
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work perfectly.
No, but the message doesn't have to be targeted to the people it's being targeted to. It can be generic public health messaging that's enforced to the communities that we know the hotspots or the heat maps are in.
I mean, I guess so. But the thing is, what's interesting to me is to consider, well, if you really, hit that message hard within a smaller community, right? And because you say, well, this community is experiencing the worst effects of monkeypox, so we really need to make sure that we reach that community. If you're doing that to the exclusion of the rest of the population, are we just deferring the problem because in a few weeks or a few months, the rest of the population who thought they were safe and they thought they could go about their business, have they now made it worse? Like, does it serve us to really communicate, hey, it's worse in this community? Or does it serve society better to make the message much more broad? And I don't know the answer to that, because maybe it's better to say, hey, look, 90% of the people who have been diagnosed with monkeypox and who have self-reported are men who have slept with men. So that's like an important data point. But is it counterproductive to really hit that data point hard when everyone in the population is equally at risk?
Well, this went back to how the national wash your hands for 20 seconds when COVID was like pre-vaccines.
Right.
The least everyone could do as a group when we had no answers is if everyone maintained a certain standard of hygiene.
That it was
regardless
helpful.
of where the clusters were happening.
Right.
In diagnoses and hospitalizations.
And regardless of the fact that a diagnosis was worse for someone who was elderly or had a pre-existing health condition.
Let's all not have sex with bloody organs.
Yeah, that's
That's a public health message worth listening to.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly say so. And I'll say this, like, one thing that I would say is a takeaway from the pandemic is, to me, the most positive change and the most positive behavior came from the message, we're all in this together.
Right.
It made it more bearable.
Except you and you and you and you.
Exactly. But I think to the extent that that message, we're all in it together, was sent out,
And received by two-thirds of the country.
by about 2/3 of the country. But I think it was a good thing overall. I think it made people feel better. I think it helped mental health. And I think it helped health standards nationwide.
Yes.
Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Did it help? I think it did.
Sure. It was better than nothing.
I think it was better than nothing. And I think it was an important part of the message that we are all in it together.
Yes.
So I feel like looking back now we have another public health issue. Don't we want to do the same thing and say we are all equally in this together? We all have to do something. And you can phrase the thing that we have to do as we all need to look at our skin daily. We all need to make sure we don't touch anyone who has a skin issue or when we have a skin issue, right? I mean, that seems like the right place to start.
Don't be bloody.
I mean, don't
There's
have
the public health hashtag. Don't be bloody.
But it's funny. Like we joke about it, but I'm around a pool all the time. I'm around a neighborhood pool, and there are plenty of people going swimming all the time with all kinds of skin.
You got to hope that chlorine does its job.
Yeah, right. But I mean, people really are in the summertime walking around all the time with who's got poison ivy and who's got a cut here. And so it's not crazy to say that people are living their lives even with broken skin and even with skin stuff. So I mean, maybe that's the place to start to really hit the message. Do not touch anyone if you or they have something going on their skin.
Well, the teachable moment from history is when the perception is that HIV was only in the gay community. And it wound up being like more than half of diagnoses in the early 2000s were in the straight community.
Right. And I think that probably is an example of the messaging trying to target people who are at risk and creating complacency in people who perceived themselves as not so much at risk.
Right.
Like, do you remember, I don't know if you remember, there was an after-school special when we were maybe in middle school, and it was about...
Not the day after with the nuclear holocaust.
No, God, no.
That was terrible.
It was
still scarred like 50 years later.
I'm scarred from this one.
Yeah.
It was this HIV one, and it was a true story about a young woman who was not promiscuous. She was straight. And she was not a drug user or anything, and she contracted.
Fell into a vat of HIV.
She had sex with one person and developed HIV. And I remember it being a very sobering story because it was like the story of even though you thought you might be safe, you're not safe. And I remember it really vividly. Not vividly enough to tell you the name of the show,
but vividly enough to be scarred by it 4 years later.
Scarred by it, yeah. And I remember being like, oh my God, I have to be afraid too. And it was kind of like the secondary messaging. But I think had everyone just started out like, listen, we all have to be really careful, it might have been better, I guess. So I mean, what do we do now? There's the messaging aspect of monkeypox, but then there's also this vaccine shortage. And somebody's got to get the vaccine. Somebody's got to be first in line for the vaccine.
Right.
So do we give the gay community the first chance at the vaccine? I
mean, this echoes COVID, right? We want to protect the elderly and the immunocompromised. We want to make sure that population has, like, remember they tiered the vaccine registrations?
Yes, but it was based on the risk of what would happen to you if you got COVID,
right?
Which made sense to me. This time, they're prioritizing the gay community, not because it would be more dangerous for them to get monkeypox, but rather because they seem more at risk for catching it.
Right.
And that seems different than what we did with COVID.
I still think it's about prioritizing the most vulnerable, whatever that metaphor means.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think it's sort of a definitional thing of like, what does it mean to be vulnerable?
Is that a word, definitional?
I think it is.
You're a lawyer. You can make your
sure,
words up.
It's definite. It's yes.
I object.
It's post ergo hoc.
Yes.
So
dear you on the definition of that.
Exactly. I'm going to give you a peremptory challenge.
Yes, fantastic.
But I mean, so I don't know. Does vulnerable mean that you're more likely to die if you get it, or does it mean you're more likely to contract it in the first place?
What is the mortality rate of monkeypox?
I think it's very low.
There. All right. So if it's not an imminent death threat, it's going to have the same level of, I'll be fine from some people, and other people like, I'm terrified. Let me do everything I can to not get this, or if I get it, to get it out of me as quickly as possible.
I would like to make a prediction.
Go ahead.
You heard it here first on Vax On.
Let's pick the states where more people will be.
I know, this is my prediction. My prediction is that people will take monkeypox more seriously in the early stages than they took COVID, even though it's not as serious.
I'm so interrupting you for the right reasons.
Tell me.
So my wife works at a school with a bunch of people that across the bell curve of tolerance of vaccines, there are many who are like, they will never do it. It'll never happen. They don't trust the government. They hear about monkeypox first in line when it's there.
Yeah. I know it. I knew that would be the case. Now, I will say the monkeypox vaccine that we know of is a traditional vaccine, the like live virus type, not an mRNA
old school vaccine.
But I don't think that's why. I think, and this is a hypothesis.
It's because the name.
Well, I'm sure, right, because they've heard of pox.
Yes.
And that's one thing.
Could have called it the coronapox virus.
I think, though, that it's because you can see it.
Yes, it's physical.
I think that when you see something,
Sores.
especially sores, because it seems like chicken pox.
It's biblical.
Yeah, right. And I think it scares the shit out of people when you can see like lesions on someone. And I
don't want that.
Yeah, whereas like COVID, even in its worst states, typically like looked still just like a cold or a fever. It didn't look like anything crazy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think people are more inclined to be frightened of stuff that you see on your face. Even, which is why I'm sure in all of the pandemic movies, that's always the symptom, right? It's always like
you're melting.
Like remember in Outbreak, the sores on people's faces was like terrifying.
Or Contagion. Gwyneth Paltrow was literally like the guy in Indiana Jones, melting at the end with the arc.
Right, and it's like all because of the makeup people in Hollywood. But it's like that's our go-to image for something that's really terrible.
It's zombie-ish.
Right, zombie-ish. And I think that people will be more frightened not because of the numbers, but because of the potential for having outward signs of this virus.
Right.
So,
they don't want to look sick.
They don't want to look sick. And because looking sick, like, equates more with, death to people, even though this is typically not fatal. So I don't know. I think.
But it's funny you said that because it triggered what Jess told me like 2 nights ago.
I'm not surprised at all.
Don't get me anywhere near that Bill Gates pill vaccination thing, but monkeypox, shoot me up.
I wonder also if it's because of the name that it almost sounds
dangerous,
exotic. Like it sounds so basic, like monkeypox. Like we had chicken pox, now we have monkeypox. It sounds like more familiar almost.
I don't know. To me, it sounds way more like, way more like extinction level event. Like
you think so?
Ebola, monkeypox. Like chicken pox, like we eat chicken. We don't eat monkeys.
Oh, because monkeys, like in and of themselves, are scary.
Monkeys are gross. And, they're, what are they?
And so says David Schwimmer.
Yes, Marcel. Who was the monkey in Outbreak?
I know.
Yes.
I know. I learned that from the Friends reunion. I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
I was like.
He hated the monkey.
I know he hated the monkey, but he was a spectacular actor.
Yeah.
Because I thought he loved that monkey. I loved the monkey even. I go on vacation all the time and there's people walking up the beach that want me to hold a monkey. And I'm like, that's not sweetening the deal. Like I'm from the city.
Interested in ever going near a monkey outside of observing it in some kind of controlled situation.
Yeah, I like to watch them swing. I don't want to touch them at all. No. Okay.
Monkeys are not going to be my friend.
I think that's our like city kid bond
that's
right
our
there.
urban moat.
I don't understand people that want me to touch wildlife. I don't. Like you walk along the beach in the Caribbean, they have all kinds of freaking animals.
Have a steak. No steak for me.
They want me to pay them so I could touch an iguana. I'm like, why? I'll pay you to touch an iguana.
I had an iguana growing up.
Oh, gross.
They were really gross and smelled, but like
they smelled?
Well, if you didn't clean them.
You have to clean it, like bathe it?
Yeah, you have to wash it. And
no.
Like any animal in a terrarium, you got to clean it.
They're not self-cleaning?
Guess what? Animals shit. Did you know that?
No, are you telling me iguanas are not self-cleaning?
Iguanas are not self-cleaning.
I thought all reptiles were self-cleaning.
But the poop is still there. And their poop is like pigeon poop. It's like half white, half black.
Oh, gross.
It's like an Oreo cookie poop.
Stop it. I've now
But
learned.
if there was like iguana pox, I wouldn't be as afraid of iguana pox as I am about like monkeypox.
Really?
Something about monkey. It's a funny word, but it's a terrifying word. Like giraffe pox, fine.
That's true, yeah.
I'm fine with giraffe
pox. How about like capybara pox?
I don't know. Like Tyrannosaurus rex pox.
Yeah, monkeypox is like.
But monkey has the right alliteratives. It's onomatopoetic. We're familiar with it. The monkey suits. Monkey is a part of our old language, right? But monkeypox just sounds particularly deadly.
I love that. I love that take on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just put yourself in like a movie trailer. In a world with chicken pox versus in a world with monkeypox. Which one sounds scarier?
No, you're right. Monkeypox does. I blame the outbreak monkey.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, monkeys are always going to be this good because it's like I still remember that kid with the outside thing, and she was the picture with the monkey on the refrigerator. Like it was a whole disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right, I'm with you.
Well, we're at time.
Okay.
But this was an exciting kind of like a deviation.
Yeah.
If you would, from Vax On.
Yeah.
So it's monkeypox.
Pox
On.
We're still vaccinated.
Pox On.
Please let
This episode of Pox On.
A pox on your house. I hope that when we return next week, I'm not here to report in that the numbers have like quadrupled. Is that a word?
Quadrupled? That is a word.
I said quadrupled.
Quadrupled? You could quadruple. I'll allow quadruple in the court.
All right, good. I really hope not. I hope that I report in to say, like, guess what? Remember we were worried about monkeypox? Not an issue anymore.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping, and let's send out the good vibes.
Okay.
Until then, if your dick has lesions, leave it in your pants.
If you're a bloody dick, don't fuck anything.
Yeah.
There you go. Lesson learned.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you back here next week. Elura, I love you. Thank you.
Love you, Matt. See you soon.
That's all for today, folks. If you liked today's show, the conversation continues on Twitter at VaxOnPod. That's VAXON Pod. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and tell all your friends to listen. Vax On is a product of Offscript Media. Our executive producers are Matthew Zachary and Elura Nanos. Our senior producers are Brianna Seeley and Andrew McDowell. It is mixed and edited by Brianna Seeley. Our theme music is by Chair Model. For advertising and media inquiries, email media@offscript.com. Hit us up at contact@offscript.com to share comments, feedback, and make recommendations. For more information, visit offscript.com.
Are you looking for a new job or want a career change? Look no further than Monster.com. Need a little help standing out? Our expert resume writing services will make sure you shine. Want to brush up on your interview skills? Engage with our AI interview prep tool. Want some advice on negotiating your new salary? Visit our salary tools and extensive library of career advice articles, and you'll have all the tips and tricks you'll need to succeed. Visit Monster.com today and take the first step towards your career. Monster.com. Find your right job fit.